everyone! Today's video is a collaboration with the Lolita Fashion YouTubers group on Facebook. Our theme for the month of March is luck, presumably because of St. Patrick's Day. I did think about talking about my lucky experiences or my lucky purchases in Lolita, but then I realised I actually have thoughts about the very concept of luck that I wanted to share today. The dictionary definition of luck is success or failure apparently brought by chance rather than through one's own actions. Note a keyword there, apparently. I'm a firm believer in the concept that by and large we make our own luck. Of course, there are always going to be circumstances outside of our control. There is always going to be an element of genuine, pure chance, pure dumb luck, as they say. But I do think that we have more control over our luck than you might think at first. Before I go into a bit more depth on that and talk about how you could potentially improve your own luck in Lolita fashion, I do have a couple of disclaimers. Obviously, in all of our lives, there are circumstances outside of our control, and there are also circumstances that are so difficult to control that they may as well be impossible. So even though you could boil down what I'm about to say is, you can do anything if you try hard enough, I'm aware that that is an oversimplification. I'm aware that that is not true in all circumstances, and I am not trying to be condescending or dismissive of the circumstances that people might be in. However, I am specifically talking about luck in the Lolita fashion subculture context. This is a luxury hobby. Note both the luxury and the hobby. So if I'm talking to you as the viewer, I think you're in a position where most of what I'm going to say does apply. As I said, I believe that good luck is far more manufactured than it actually appears on the surface. There are two main elements that I want to touch on in relation to a person's luck, which are relationships and perseverance. Let's start with relationships. In Lolita, relationships play a massive role, even though you might not think it at first glance. It's your local community, it's your country's large-scale events, it's online spaces. It's things like modelling for a brand or working with a photographer at a photo shoot. It's having Lolita friends to frill up with and just have fun. For example, I consider myself really lucky that I have a husband who is a great photographer who enjoys doing creative photo shoots, which we have done quite a bunch that have been Lolita focused, and he's also very happy to just grab my phone and snap quick shots of my coordinates just for my own records. Now, obviously, yes, lucky me having a photographer for a husband. But I met him on a website called Model Mayhem, which is a photographers, models, makeup artists, etc. networking site. He was on there as a photographer, I was there as a photographer and model. We'd both been on the site for years before we even encountered each other. So yes, I'm very lucky to have met him, but I was deliberately putting myself in the places where meeting such a person was possible. As an aside, because it kind of sounded like I was like promoting Model Mayhem as a dating site, neither of us were there with the intention of dating, it just happened. And forgive me if things get dark or light, the light keeps changing outside and, you know, I'm not lucky enough, haha, to have a good set of, you know, artificial lights. I depend on the big window behind you. But anyway, if things get a bit janky light-wise, sorry, I blame the sun. But back to talking about luck and relationships. On a similar note, before I moved down to Tasmania, back in New South Wales, I was lucky enough to attend a lot of small-scale, more casual meetups with my local community. But on the flip side, I was one of two people who resurrected that comm on Facebook from nothing, and I was involved in organising a lot of those meets, so they were the kind of meets I wanted because I organised them. You will not make Lolita fashion friends if you don't go out in places where the Lolitas are, in real life or online. Opportunities to do cool stuff with other people starts with being involved with those people. And yeah, you're not gonna, you know, pop up online and go, hello, I'm a new Lolita, and everyone's gonna be, wow, I want you to be my best friend forever. You'd be very lucky if that happened in the random chance sense. But by simply showing up and being there, you become recognized, and that is the basis for relationships, and once you have relationships with a wide range of people, things happen. Another example, if you want to receive promotional items from a brand or a magazine or something like that, you need to have something to offer them to make it a mutually beneficial relationship. For example, I recently received a payout from Lolita Inside because people were actually using my discount code, which I get a commission from. And the thing is, I wouldn't have been able to work with Lolita Inside if I hadn't had a Lolita blog that had been active for over 10 years and been active on YouTube for 3. I just did that because it's what I wanted to do. But because of that, I was able to develop a relationship which has benefited me, and hey, it's certainly benefited some people who have used my discount code. What I'm saying is that by creating and cultivating opportunities in relationships, good luck can follow. For example, friends have given me Lolita clothing pieces. In turn, I've given other friends Lolita clothing pieces. You know, luck is there to be found if you're in the place and have the relationships to let it happen. The second thing that I feel influences luck, especially if we're talking about the sort of actual clothing side of Lolita, is perseverance. If you want a particular dream dress or other dream item, you have to budget for it and keep an eye out for it. Sure, even if you do both of those things, you might not be able to purchase it. Someone might beat you to the listing, someone might outbid you. But the thing is, if you don't have the money and you're not keeping an eye out, you are definitely not going to have any luck finding that dream item. I mean, sure, I think we would all consider someone who has the means to buy whatever they want, whenever they want, to be quite lucky, very, very fortunate. They're still not going to be able to have everything. You may still be the person who finds that auction first or finds that listing first, you know? Even having all the means doesn't necessarily make up for perseverance. Helps though. As another example, perhaps you look at someone online, and I know this is something that I do, who has a great collection of handmade pieces, and you think, wow, they're really lucky that they can sew like that. And yeah, sure, maybe there is some kind of factor in their life that they have that you didn't. Maybe they were taught to sew as a child, maybe they've just got the kind of brain that makes it make sense, or they've got a figure that's very easy to clothe. But the thing is, sewing is a skill. If you decide to start learning and continue at it, you too will be able to sew fantastic handmade pieces. It's just a matter of, whilst their starting point may have been lucky in a way that yours was not, the end goal is the same, and you can reach it too if you persevere. So ultimately, I think that a lot of what we call luck in Lolita fashion is no such thing. It is not coincidence, it's not chance. It's about showing up, it's about connecting with people, and it's about working at it. Whatever it is that you want, whether it's being able to sew, being better at doing your hair and makeup, doing particular photo shoots, whatever. If you keep working at it, things will more or less fall into place. Not always, but enough that I do know for sure that there is more to it than just random chance. So next time you encounter another Lolita and think to yourself, wow, they're really lucky because of insert thing here, or maybe you're bemoaning your own bad luck or gloating over your own good luck, take a moment. Take a moment and think, how much of that thing is luck, pure random chance, and how much of it is something that may have been within your control or theirs, and what you can do about it, if you indeed want to do anything about it. So those are my thoughts about luck in Lolita, and to be honest, I actually find it kind of inspiring to know that whilst chance does play a role, mostly it's up to me. And I like that, except for the times when I let myself down, but that's another story. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my thoughts about luck and its role in Lolita fashion. Please check out the other videos from the other collaborators. I will link to the playlist down below. And until next time, bye bye!